I'm not no ordinary Negro. No, hell no. He made me.
This is the definition of a cult. A social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or by its common interest in a particular personality, object, or goal. Many of you might not be familiar with the Nation of Islam and its beliefs and Louis Farrakhan and the lies that he spreads. So in this video, I'm going to touch on some of them, and hopefully by the end you understand that the Nation of Islam is a dangerous, dangerous cult.
Jesus died because he was 2,000 years too soon to bring about the end of the civilization of the Jews.
So, brothers and sisters, the germ of murder is already sown in the heart of Jews across this nation and across the world.
The Nation of Islam's religious and spiritual beliefs are unusual, to say the least. Part of the teachings of the Nation of Islam is that the white man is the devil and Jews are satanic.
And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Allah revealed to him that the white race is a race of devils.
And the white man, we say, is the devil.
But they are the real synagogue of Satan, using the name Jew.
See, Satan, you gotta understand Satan.
It definitely has a common interest in a particular personality, Fard Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad, and for the last over 40 years, Louis Farrakhan. It's not just a common interest in these individuals. They have actually elevated them to gods and prophets.
They say Allah came in the form of a man in 1935. A black man. And his name was Master W. Farad.
According to the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom we see him and know him today as being God in person.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was Messiah in our midst, and we did not recognize him. He has advanced to a God.
God made me his mouthpiece.
Now, what we are witnessing in the life of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a demonstration. The Supreme God is actually showing us in a way that we can comprehend the actual method and means by which a man becomes a God. The process was completed in 2019.
Whenever he speaks about Islam, it's totally confusing. It's confusing because at some points it appears like, he's saying he's a Muslim. Other points it appears like he's following what is known as the first resurrection of Elijah Muhammad. And that we know is clearly saying that Allah is a man, wal-iyadhu billah, and that Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
So not only was Fard Muhammad God, but he was also the Mahdi, the 12th Imam.
Master Fard Muhammad, the great Mahdi.
Some of you were with me in Tehran, and I had an audience with the Supreme Leader. And I told him that I am a representative of Al-Mahdi. They all love Al-Mahdi. I said he came to North America by himself. He visited every inhabited part of our planet. He spoke 16 languages and wrote 10. He pictured and extracted the language of the people on Mars. He spoke the language of the birds.
The object they have a particular fascination with is the mother wheel.
There's a whole new civilization on that wheel. The wisdom on that wheel is so powerful.
A half-mile by half-mile flying saucer that is housing Fard Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started learning and teaching of this great wheel called the mother plane around 1932. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it was a masterpiece of mechanics and engineering.
He declared again, not only does the mother plane exist, but that Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are on it.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it is the greatest military weapon ever developed in the annals of the history of Allah, God, and man in this universe.
And it remains poised, ready to destroy America at their command.
For it was to engage in the great battle in the sky.
And there came a time, September of 1985, while he was in the midst of being slandered and defamed by the impostor Jews, that he had a vision-like experience wherein he was transported to the mother plane and given direct guidance from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
I'm about to go back to the wheel.
In the 21st century, how is it possible that anyone believes this craziness? So the Nation of Islam qualifies as a cult on every level. I'd like to remind some of you older viewers and inform some of you younger viewers, perhaps for the first time, a little bit about the man, Louis Farrakhan. Let's start with his incitement to the assassination of Malcolm X.
Who killed Malcolm X? 3 black Muslims, members of the Nation of Islam, were convicted.
And then the justification of that assassination in front of his entire congregation.
Let me read you what you wrote in December of 1964. The die is set, and Malcolm shall not escape. Such a man as Malcolm is worthy of death.
Are you not, perhaps, afraid of what might happen to you as a result of making these revelations?
Oh, yes. I probably am a dead man already.
You don't have to order me to kill you. If you attack my father, my orders come from my love. I want you to hear me good, because every Muslim that loved Elijah Muhammad would have killed Malcolm if we had gotten a chance. We didn't incite that. Malcolm incited that in us.
Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam because he found out that its leader, Elijah Muhammad, had fathered children with 6 of his secretaries at the Nation of Islam.
Well, he made 6 sisters pregnant. They all had children. 2 of those 6 had 2 children. One of those 2 is having a child right now.
Who is the father of all of these various children whom you have enumerated?
The first one to tell me who the father was Wallace Muhammad, and he told me that the father was Elijah Muhammad himself.
How many wives did Prophet Muhammad have, Brother Baghdadi? Some people say 9, some people say 11.
They admitted to me that Elijah Muhammad was the father of their children, and I took it to him. And it was at that time he told me that he was Muhammad, the prophet, and that Muhammad had 9 wives.
Now, when Malcolm was slandering the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, talking about teenage secretaries, didn't the prophet take a wife who was a pre-teenager? What was her name? Aisha. When he married her, how old was she? She was 11 years old. But he did not have conjugal relations with her until what year? They say 14. Well, Malcolm!
Not only did Farrakhan justify the assassination of Malcolm X, but he justified Elijah Muhammad having babies with 6 different women outside of the 8 that he had with his real wife, by saying they too were his wives. So he's defending polygamy and pedophilia and basing it off of the Prophet Muhammad.
The arch deceiver, the impostor Jews
the imposter that calls himself a Jew but is not.
Farrakhan repeatedly refers to Jews as fake Jews, imposter Jews, and satanic. And what he's really doing is projection here, because he's not really considered a Muslim by most Muslim authorities.
I can tell you 1,001 things. Brother can tell you too. The differences between the Nation of Islam and Islam.
Now, they were not Muslims, but that's what they called themselves, Nation of Islam.
It is very difficult for a Muslim to be really supporting somebody like that. It would be like supporting Dajjal, like, the Antichrist, or a false prophet or something like that, really,
Unfortunately, the teachings of the Nation of Islam is not Islam, point blank.
So to the members of the Jewish community, you must turn away from the Talmud and embrace the Torah and stop doing evil.
After the Romans destroyed the temple and chased the Jews out of Israel, rabbis wrote down the oral traditions, the interpretations of the Torah, and it was written hundreds of years before the birth of the Islamic prophet Muhammad.
My Jewish friends, no. My enemies have raised the Talmud above the Torah.
So Jews do not place the Talmud above the Torah. It is used in conjunction with.
So the Talmudic so-called Jews.
So by saying Jews that believe in the Talmud aren't real Jews would be like me saying Muslims that read the Sunnah and the Hadith in addition to the Quran aren't really Muslims.
Because they are not Semitic people, those that are calling me anti-Semitic. They are European white people.
Farrakhan also says that he's not anti-Semitic because today's Jews are not Semites.
The Ashkenazi Jew, he's European. He don't have no root there. I don't know why the hell they call me anti-Semite. This cat ain't Semitic.
Well, DNA tests show that Ashkenazi Jews can be traced back to Greater Israel.
Ashkenazi Jews are those whose ancestors arrived in the Danube Valley and Rhineland areas after the Roman exile, with some accounts dating as far back as 321 CE. The genetic findings of Ashkenazi Jews point to people of Middle Eastern origin.
Farrakhan and his acolytes at the NOI are spreading the same type of anti-Semitic tropes used in Nazi Germany in the 1930s.
They own or control every facet of the economy.
And it is a matter of fact that you control Hollywood.
You own the banks, the professional sports teams, real estate, the retail outlets.
And for those of you that want to say, oh, he's 87 years old, he'll be dead soon, and this will all go away, that's not the facts. This man has affected millions of people.
This squad under God, soldiers follow Farrakhan.
His influence has been greatly, greatly underestimated.
There's not a black organization in America that I have not been invited to address and have addressed. Not one.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
His videos have hundreds of millions of views. His popularity has never been greater. And there are people ready to take his place.
I was called on local TV, newspapers, everywhere, a, quote, vicious anti-Semite, just like her teacher.
Them that say they are Jews and they are not. This is what the minister is pointing out when he says the imposter.
Do you think the rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes perpetrated by blacks has nothing to do with his decades of preaching hatred?
Well, this morning, the NYPD continues to investigate a rash of hate crimes against Jewish people.
Police say Green insisted he was a real Jew and the son of God and called the victims fake Jews, hurling anti-Semitic insults and threatening to kill them with a knife.
So far, there have been at least 6 attacks against Jewish people this week, 2 of them here in Brooklyn, just in the last 24 hours.
I find it absolutely amazing that some of the loudest voices calling for an end to racism can embrace the biggest racist, the worst anti-Semite in America.
These are our brothers. We should send the message to the enemy, hands off Farrakhan, hands off Sean Combs, hands off Nick Cannon, Charlemagne the God, Stephen Jackson, Ice Cube, Deshaun Jackson. Get your hands off of our brothers and our people.
And to add to that list, how about the train wreck known as Madonna or the slimy Brit Wiley? So when you athletes and entertainers post videos of Louis Farrakhan and say he's saying nothing but the truth, either you are ignorant of the truth or you are purposefully spreading anti-Semitism. And it's not just athletes and entertainers. Look at the Democrat Party. Maxine Waters, Barbara Lee, Gregory Meeks, Al Green, Andre Carson, and there are more. They not only refuse to denounce Louis Farrakhan and his hate speech, they actually embrace him. Now imagine if a Republican embraced David Duke. And where is the media? If a Republican did that, the media would be calling racist, racist, you must resign. Yet Democrats get a free ride on their endorsement and embrace of this absolute hate monger.
Thank you.
The Nation of Islam is a cult of hatred. Hatred for America, hatred for white people, and a particular hatred for Jewish people.
The imposter Jew.
Louis Farrakhan is a man that has incited and justified murder and defended polygamy and pedophilia. What kind of religion preaches such hatred and demonization of others? What kind of religion has a giant spaceship in the sky, militarized and ready to destroy America? This is a call to put an end to the acceptance and the mainstreaming of Louis Farrakhan's racism and anti-Semitism. So please, stop promoting, endorsing, and defending Louis Farrakhan and his hatred. It is dangerous, not only for the Jewish community, but for the black community, for those that want to integrate into America, for those that already have integrated into America. This man is nothing but trouble. He is the leader of a cult, and he and his followers need to be viewed in that manner.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Gotta hold it down for the troops. Take it to the streets and recruit. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!